Judi Dench sparks fierce debate after saying Harvey Weinstein has done his time inside the actress's history with the disgraced producer, her defense of Kevin Spacey, and the Hollywood reckoning that refuses to die. Dame Judi Dench, one of Britain's most decorated actresses and a towering figure in cinema, has ignited a firestorm of controversy after suggesting that Harvey Weinstein, convicted rapist, disgraced movie mogul, and the man whose downfall helped ignite the global #MeToo movement, may have done his time. The 90-year-old actress made the comments during an interview with Radio Times, where she spoke candidly about aging, legacy, forgiveness, and the complicated personal relationships she once maintained with two of Hollywood's most controversial figures, Weinstein and actor Kevin Spacey. The remarks, quickly picked up by global media outlets, spread across social platforms within minutes, igniting intense debate about accountability, redemption, and whether certain public figures will ever be separated from their scandals. But to truly understand why Dench's comments hit so forcefully, and why the public response is so emotionally charged, requires revisiting the long, tangled history between Dench, Weinstein, Spacey, and an industry that has been forced to confront its darkest corners over the last decade. This is the full story. Chapter 1. Judi Dench, a legend who has seen Hollywood from every angle. Judi Dench's stately, elegant presence is synonymous with British theatre and international film. A career spanning more than 6 decades includes Oscar Gold, Shakespeare in Love, iconic pop culture roles, in the James Bond franchise, and countless stage triumphs at the Royal Shakespeare Company. But with great longevity comes a unique vantage point. Dench has worked alongside powerful men, tyrannical studio heads, beloved co-stars, and controversial auteurs. She has watched the film industry evolve from the rigid studio era, through the 1990s Weinstein-dominated awards machine, and into the #MeToo revolution that redefined Hollywood's relationship with gender, power, and accountability. Her comments, "I imagine he's done his time. To me it's personal, forgiveness," struck a nerve because they came from someone who has lived inside this system long enough to have seen both its glamour and its rot. And she didn't stop there. Dench also revealed she remains in contact with Kevin Spacey, texting with him and reiterating her long-standing belief that his artistic work should not be erased because of personal scandal, especially given his acquittals and civil trial victories. These statements weren't off the cuff. They reflect a deeper philosophy Dench has expressed before, that the art must outlive the artist, even when the artist's personal life becomes radioactive. But the world has changed since she first said those words in 2019, and the public reaction suggests that the cultural landscape no longer embraces such separation cleanly. During her new interview, Dench spoke of Weinstein with a tone that surprised many. "I saw a bit of film of Harvey walking with 2 sticks and you think, well, I knew Harvey, and I knew him well and worked with him, and I had none of that experience, very fortunately for me," she explained. Her next sentence landed the hardest. "I imagine he's done his time." But Weinstein is currently serving a 16-year sentence in California after his New York conviction was overturned and retried. Saying he has done his time contradicts the legal reality. It also introduces a moral dimension that the public wasn't prepared for, especially given that numerous survivors have publicly insisted that Weinstein has yet to fully face accountability for decades of abuse. Dench added, "Forgiveness, to me, is personal." That phrasing, personal, struck many listeners. Dench wasn't making a broad statement about criminal justice or the #MeToo movement. She was talking about her own relationship with Weinstein, a man she once treated almost like family. Harvey Weinstein was not just a producer in Dench's professional orbit. He was a major force in her rise to international fame. He helped shape her late career renaissance. Dench's Academy Award-winning performance in Shakespeare in Love, 1998, a Miramax film, was directly tied to Weinstein's aggressive awards campaigning. She worked with Weinstein's companies on several projects, including Shakespeare in Love, Philomena, Mrs. Henderson Presents, multiple Miramax promotional campaigns. Weinstein famously adopted certain actors into his orbit, showering them with roles, opportunities, and awards push energy, and Dench was one of those he championed. She once tattooed his name, sort of. In a story she's told many times, Dench revealed she once joked about tattooing HW on her backside as a thank you for the success he brought her. She ultimately presented him with a temporary tattoo, but the gag symbolized their close bond at the time. She has always maintained she knew nothing of his abuse. When the Weinstein scandal broke wide open in 2017 after exposés in the New York Times and the New Yorker, Dench said she was horrified by the allegations and immediately supported the victims. Her statement then was unambiguous. "I was completely unaware of these offenses, horrifying. I offer my sympathy to those who have suffered. But the public has long debated whether major actors, especially those close to Weinstein, were entirely ignorant of his behavior. Some say the rumors were industry whispers. Others insist his worst crimes were well hidden behind NDAs, threats, and a fortress of Hollywood power." Dench has always stood firm. She knew nothing. Chapter 4. Kevin Spacey, another relationship under the microscope. Dench's comments extended beyond Weinstein to another figure whose name still polarizes Hollywood, Kevin Spacey. Spacey, who enjoyed global prestige for decades, saw his career collapse almost instantly in 2017 after multiple men accused him of sexual misconduct. The fallout was swift. House of Cards fired him. Films erased or recast his roles. He faced criminal charges in the US and UK. Civil lawsuits followed. Dench, however, has publicly defended his talent for years, not his alleged conduct, but the value of his contributions to theater and film. Dench and Spacey share deep theater ties. Both have strong connections to London's Old Vic, where Spacey served as artistic director from 2004 to 2015. Dench has repeatedly expressed admiration for the transformational work he did there. During her new interview, she reiterated, "Kevin has been exonerated and I hear from Kevin, we text. This is factually accurate. He was acquitted in the UK and found not liable in a major NY civil case." However, Spacey still faces additional civil claims in 2026, meaning the legal saga is not yet over. To Dench, however, the principle remains unchanged. Are we going to negate 10 years at the Old Vic and everything he did? How wonderful he's been in all those films. Her argument is provocative. Should art be separated from the artist? Can an actor's body of work survive their personal downfall? To many audiences, the answer is now no. To Dench, the answer is still yes. Dench's comments hit a cultural fault line that has been widening for years. The #MeToo movement forced a reckoning on an industry built on power imbalances, silence, intimidation, and unchecked male dominance. Weinstein's downfall was symbolic, a titan toppled. But nearly a decade later, the conversation hasn't settled. 3 tensions remain unresolved. 1. Can we forgive without excusing abuse? Dench is speaking from personal emotional experience, not offering societal absolution. Yet her words are interpreted as minimizing Weinstein's crimes. 2. Should artists' work survive their personal scandals? This debate rages across social media every day. Spacey, Polanski, Woody Allen, Michael Jackson, and others remain polarizing. 3. What does doing your time mean in the context of systemic abuse? Many victims and activists argue that Weinstein has not come close to facing full accountability. Dench's comments land differently for those who lived the trauma. Despite Dench's phrasing, Weinstein has not finished serving his sentence. Timeline: 2020. Sentenced to 23 years in New York. 2024. New York conviction overturned. 2025. Retried in Manhattan. Found guilty again. 2023. Sentenced to 16 years in California. Currently, serving that sentence while appealing. Weinstein has not been released, cleared, exonerated, or pardoned. His mobility issues, walking with 2 sticks, do not change the legal reality. Yet Dench's comments reflect a personal perspective, not a judicial one. Chapter 7. Why Judi Dench's words matter, even now. At 90 years old, Dame Judi Dench is not merely an actress. She is a globally respected cultural figure, a dame of the British Empire, and someone whose public opinions resonate. Her career has spanned eras shaped by men like Weinstein and Spacey. Some argue she is a woman of her generation, accustomed to separating personal relationships from public controversies. Others say she is defending the indefensible. Yet others see her as a living witness to Hollywood's transformation, someone who has observed its darkest chapters up close but never directly suffered at the hands of those at the center of them. Her belief in forgiveness speaks to a worldview shaped by age, tradition, and personal loyalty. But the public's reaction speaks to a world that has moved on. Chapter 8. The industry reacts, shock, support, outrage. Within hours of her comments breaking online, industry voices weighed in. Outrage. Survivor advocates called Dench's remarks painful, disheartening, and misinformed. Many asked, what message does this send to victims still fighting for justice? Support. Some defended Dench, arguing, she's earned the right to speak honestly. She's discussing personal forgiveness, not legal release. She's from a different era with different frameworks. She, unlike many others, never wavered in supporting victims in 2017. Neutral observers. Critics and journalists noted that Dench's relationship with Weinstein was unusually close, making emotional bias inevitable. Dench is unlikely to issue a clarification. She rarely revisits public controversies once she's spoken. Weinstein's appeals will continue. His health may worsen. Spacey's new civil cases will be fought in court next year. The larger question hangs in the air. How do we reconcile personal loyalties with cultural accountability? In a world that demands black and white answers, Judi Dench has offered a deeply gray one. Whether we agree with her or not, her comments expose the emotional complexities behind the #MeToo era. Complexities that the public rarely sees from the celebrities who lived through it.